Taoiseach, my question is on another issue, but I do think the entire country is flying blind at the moment, and you should restore the briefings as a matter of urgency if you want to take people with you in a difficult situation. But I want to raise another issue. If the recent opinion poll in Dublin Bay South is anything to judge by, there's a very real possibility, maybe even a likelihood, that the government parties are going to lose a seat. Now, there are many reasons why that might happen, but certainly judging from my experience on the door, the issue, and this is very much to do with an entire generation of young people that we talked about earlier on, and their parents, who are absolutely furious about the failure of successive governments to provide for that entire generation of young people the prospect of actually being able to have an affordable roof over their head in the coming years. And of course, that problem of the housing crisis caused by the successive failures of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael-led governments is not just for a whole generation of young working people, but also older people who may find themselves separated, evicted by landlords because of loopholes in residential tenancies legislation, and so on. Now, the government have said, and Minister O'Brien has said, they're going to try to do something about it. But I have very, very serious doubts about that, about the government's actual commitment to provide the public and the genuinely affordable housing for the people who need it. And tonight, we have a Land Development Agency bill that is going to be going through and completing its journey through the Dáil, where, in our view, you are going to open up the entire public land bank to private financiers, to private investment funds, and so on, when that land should be used exclusively for the delivery of public and genuinely affordable housing. And by genuinely affordable, we mean not €450,000 in parts of Dublin, or 400,000, which is completely unaffordable for the vast majority of working people, but affordable based on people's income. Where people shouldn't have to pay 50, 60, 70% of their income on mortgage repayments or on rents, but should have to pay no more than about 25%. Now, recently, when we debated these issues at the Land Development Agency committee stage of the bill, the Minister said, on foot of our objections about this, he said he was going to bring in amendments that would mean, at least in the major urban centres, there was going to be a change of heart by the government, and that public land would be used to provide 100% public and genuinely affordable housing. He has not brought forward those amendments, and indeed in the affordable housing bill, it is still not clear that affordable housing will actually be affordable for ordinary working people. Why has the Minister reneged on his commitments to bring in those amendments?
Thank you, Deputy.
And why will the Minister and the government not commit to actually make affordable housing genuinely affordable on public land and on developments where we're getting affordable housing from private developers?
Thank you, Deputy. Taoiseach, please.
First of all, I would agree with the Deputy that housing is the single greatest social issue facing our country, and particularly generations of our young people. And it's absolutely essential that we do everything we possibly can to build houses, get supply up, but also to provide social housing and affordable housing, houses that people can afford to buy. And the Minister has brought in a range of measures, and is bringing in a range of measures, both legislative and initiatives, to help people, and to help young people in particular, to be able to afford to buy a house. The Help to Buy scheme was expanded, 22,000 people availed of that, and it was of benefit to them, even though many in the House opposed it. And likewise, in terms of the current budget, about 700 million allocated to affordability measures in terms of new cost rental homes, shared equity schemes, rebuilding Ireland home loans, and so forth. Now, an extra funding has been allocated to Service Sites Fund, which will provide, through local authorities, housing that will be affordable for people. And so those measures will have impact. Now, the Land Development Agency bill, the Minister has brought forward amendments. Now, you use the phrase genuinely affordable. So clearly you're arguing in terms of definitions here in terms of what's affordable and what's not affordable. But the Minister has approved an amendment, and government has, to provide for 80% affordable housing in urban areas with populations greater than 150,000. And this will provide for 100% affordable and social housing in these areas, given the proposed revised Part 5 arrangements to be brought in through the Affordable Housing Bill. And the Land Development Agency Bill is a very important bill, in my view, to get through this House before the summer, so that we can get on with the job of getting houses built on public land that are affordable, that are social, so that people can avail of them. And I would urge everybody, on every political, in every political party, on every local authority, to do everything you personally can to get projects through and to reduce delays, reduce the opposition against projects that are shovel-ready. We need them built, because if we don't get supply up, well, then I think the younger people will be denied access to the kind of affordable housing that you want people to have genuinely access to, which I accept. You do, so do I. But we can't keep on navel-gazing forever in respect of these issues. And we do need to make sure that we build enough houses that are affordable and indeed social housing for those who obviously require social houses.
Minister, in areas of Dublin like Poolbeg, the glass bottle site and so on, where people like Johnny Ronan, the developer, are involved, these developers are not building anything for less than €500,000 or often more. That is not affordable. And the concern is that the government will not strictly define affordable to ensure that it is actually affordable based on people's income. To pay for a house for 500 or 450 or 400,000, you'd need an income in excess of 90 or 100 or more thousand euro. That is not affordable, and it is completely unacceptable that public land, or land that had been in, or some land, 20% of the STZ down at Poolbeg, that is still in the hands of NAMA, that house prices would be at that level. That's unacceptable. So why has the Minister reneged on the commitment he gave to the committee to ensure that publicly owned land will be 100% genuinely social and affordable, and to define affordable, not based on what Johnny Ronan is charging in Cherrywood or the STZ, but based on people's income.
Deputy, time is up.
So the ordinary working people.
Up, Deputy,
by the way, an amendment that we put to the Sinn Féin motion last night, which said it should be 25%, no more than 25% of people's income,
Deputy,
that the government didn't oppose. Will they hardwire that into the legislation to give a clear legal commitment for genuine affordability?
Taoiseach.
You're great for motions, but motions will never build a house. Never build a house. And that's all that goes on here. Motion after motion after motion, but it will not build a house. And I think the Land Development Agency Bill, once we get it through, and once it's on a statutory footing, the agency will build houses. Up to 4,000 homes can get started fairly quickly. No, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about across the country. That we can get state land working to get houses built, social houses and affordable houses for people. And the majority of such lands will remain in local authority ownership post-development. There's a portfolio of 9 sites already waiting to go that can provide 4,000 houses. The difference really is, I think to a certain degree you suffer from paralysis by analysis. You keep on analysing every single scheme, you keep on finding something wrong with it, a reason to oppose it. That's been the consistent thread now on local authorities from the parties opposite in relation to housing provision and housing schemes. We want to get on with it. We want to get houses built, because we urgently need to do that as a country.